Hi guys, so this is the lesson for October 16th, which is tomorrow's lesson. So hopefully you guys are watching this. So we're doing the distributive law. So before we collect the like terms, meaning we were adding and subtracting, today we're doing a bit of multiplication and addition. So what distributive law does is if you have a number in front of the brackets and if you have a lot of terms, polynomial, inside of the brackets, it could be binomial, trinomial, it could be polynomial. Then what happens is that the number in front of the brackets is multiplied to every single term inside of the brackets. So if you take a look at the law itself, which is right there, if I have a, which will be a number, and that's sitting right in front of the brackets, and I have b plus c, in this case it's just a binomial, it could be many more, then eventually what happens is it is a times b, so I have a times b, and then I have a times c, so it becomes a times c, and then eventually it becomes ab plus ac. Please don't forget that if you have two letters right beside like this, it means the letters are multiplied to each other, okay? Now here's the proof. If I have 2x plus y, then this becomes 2 of the x plus y. So it will be 2, not 2, sorry, my bad. It will be x plus y, not this way. It will be x plus y plus x plus y, and this becomes, as we collect the like terms, x and then x, they are the same terms, like terms. So x plus x will be 2x, and then y plus y will be 2y. Now, using the distributive law, we have the 2 in the front, so we multiply the 2 to both x and y. So that's what each arrow means, multiplication. So 2 times x becomes just a 2x. 2 times y becomes just a 2y. Okay? Now, then let's get into the examples. So, in a simple way, all I do usually is, if I have a number in the front or a term in the front, what I do is I multiply the 3 to the inside, so it becomes 3 times 2x, and then I multiply 3 with a positive x squared, so this becomes plus 3x squared, so this becomes 6x plus 3x squared, and don't forget to rearrange them from the highest degree to lowest. So I have 3x squared plus 6x. The reason why this is plus 6x is because it is a positive 6 to begin with. Okay? If it was negative 6x, then this will be minus. Okay? Don't forget that. Now let's get to then the next one. Okay, let's get to the next one. I'm just going to zoom in a little. Now I have negative 2 in front of the brackets, so that's multiplied to the x inside, and that's multiplied to the y inside. So let's go step by step. So let's say I multiply the negative 2 to the inside, the x inside. Then this becomes negative 2 times x, so it will be just a negative x. Now, and then next we have negative 2 times negative y. So remember, negative times negative becomes positive. And then 2 times 1. Well, remember this is imaginary number 1. So we will have 2y. Okay? And that's it. We cannot collect these two items since we don't have the same like terms, right? X and y, different letters. So hopefully that was okay. Now let's get to then the next example. Now here we only have negative bracket x plus y. We don't have any number. Now remember, if you don't have any number but just a sign, that means you have 1. Okay, so in this case it's negative 1. So I will put the arrows down here since we don't have space. So negative 1 times x, so that becomes negative 1x. and then negative 1 times positive y becomes negative, since negative times positive is negative, so negative 1y. And we don't really have to write the ones, so we can simply just put negative x minus y. Okay? Then the next example will be this. So in this case, we have 4 in the front, so same thing, but we have polynomial, we have many terms inside of the brackets. And it doesn't really matter, okay? It's exactly the same rule. So this becomes 4 times x squared, so it will be 4x squared. And then 4 times positive x, so it will be positive 4x. And then it will be 4 times negative y, so it will be negative 4y, since this is a positive 4 times negative 1, so this becomes negative 4y. And the same thing goes for this as well, that this becomes negative 4y squared. Now let's do a couple more, actually. Okay, let's do a couple more and see whether you actually get that. Okay. Now, then in next example, we have negative 3 in the front, so everything will be multiplied by the negative 3. So negative 3 times negative xy, again, sign by sign, negative times negative is always positive. So I won't write the positive in the front because that's the very first term. So 3 times xy is basically just 3xy. The negative 3 times positive 4y, that becomes negative 12y, because negative times positive is negative, and then 3 times 4 is 12, and then y. Now, then next one is negative 3 times negative 2. So negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6, so it will be positive 6x. And then double check, xy, y, and x. They are not like terms. Their shapes are not the same. They're not the same variable, so we can't add them. Okay. Now then let's get to the next example. Now here then we have x in the front instead of a number. And will that change the whole game? Well, the good thing is that it won't. Okay, it won't change the game. It's still the same thing, that you are multiplying whatever is sitting in front of the brackets to every single term inside of the brackets. It doesn't really matter, it's a letter or a number. Okay, so I have, or a mixture of it. Well, so what I do is x times x, and everyone knows what x times x is. That's x squared. And the next one is x times positive y. Well, x being in the front already is a positive since there's no negative sign. Therefore, positive times positive gives you positive. And then x times y is basically just xy. Okay? Now then we have a bit of hard ones. Okay? So in this case we have the same situation. Okay, we have the same situation that we have x, a variable in the front, and then 2 terms inside. So this becomes x times 2x. So this becomes 2x squared. Then x times negative 3y. That becomes negative 3xy. Remember, when you're multiplying 2 different variables, you're basically just putting them right beside each other. Okay? If you're multiplying the same variable, then you are adding the exponent. Hopefully you don't forget those. Okay? Now last example is this, and then we're done. So we have now negative 2x in the front. So it's the mixture of a number and a variable, and it doesn't really matter. So all you do is you multiply using the distributive law again. The reason is this number is sitting in front of the brackets, and there's nothing in between, and we have multiple terms inside of the brackets. So negative 2x times x gives you negative 2x squared. And then if you multiply negative 2x by that negative 3y in the second term, now here we are multiplying negative 2x by negative 3y. Now when you're multiplying 2 terms, remember you're multiplying number by number and then letter by letter. So what is negative 2 times negative 3? That becomes positive 6. Now, x and y are not the same terms. So when you're multiplying them, we're not adding powers, we're not changing powers. We simply combine the two letters. And that's pretty much it. Okay? So hopefully that was easy enough. Okay, hopefully that was easy enough. And I'll see you guys in class.